Welcome back to the Home of Champions. It's finals time here for the 2025 Champions Winter Trophy. This 1,360 metre clockwise 13-turn circuit will now host 4 respective finals. Now we've had the heats, we've had the super heats, and now we have the finals. This is a one-off event. It's winner take all. And more to the point, well, if you want to finish first you have to finish. We've got a great lineup of drivers, some who have unfortunately had their weekend come to an early end. But more to the point, there are those drivers that will be leaving the Limburg region of Belgium in just a few hours' time on cloud 9, because they can write themselves into the history books as a Champions Winter Trophy winner. This is the second ever running of this type of events. It's a joint collaboration between RMC Belgium, RMC Germany and RMC Netherlands. And a big thank you to our streaming partners here at WFR Live TV, bringing you all the action trackside. And wherever you've been watching over the course of this morning's action, welcome back here on the official B&L Karting Series YouTube channel. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe. We're also live streaming on the official B&L Karting Series Facebook page as well. And more to the point, this is the beginning of my 9th season here in continental Europe, and I've seen a lot of drivers come through the ranks, and there's some really great future superstars here in the making at this very circuit. And more to the point, we get the pomp and circumstance of this event. Here is the track. It's been around for over 4 decades. It's now into its 5th decade as a mainstay of not just European but also international competition. It's hosted events such as the Saudi World Series International Finals, FIA World and European Championship races. It's even at the home of the Rotax Max Challenge Golden Trophy. And more to the point, it's the home of the B&L Karting Series, the Belgian Max Challenge, and of course one of the teams here competing this weekend, GKS Lemons Power, founded by the legend himself, Paul Lemons, who still has an active role alongside his wife Lizette and also son Koen running this circuit. And there we have our 35 mini and mini rookie drivers here ready to compete. So the pomp and circumstance very much in effect here at the Home of Champions. And of course, this event is a tune-up race for a lot of drivers who will be venturing back here, including myself, in 2 weeks' time for the opening round of the 2025 B&L Karting Series season. An international championship that has seen quite a few drivers, including one that is now looking for a 5th successive Formula One title in 2025, who also was the first ever 2-time and inaugural Mini-Max champion, Max Verstappen. But there we see the new young signing for Strawberry Racing, Max Jolly, came into Europe last year with a bang, and now he's with one of the top teams in the sport. And also good to catch up with his driver coach, who was here with him on Friday, Kai Gilets, 4-time B&L Karting Series champion, multi-time European champion, and he's here to support. There is his closest rival, Riley Morrow from Sam Pollitt Racing. They've got a wonderful breadth of talent in that UK squad, and as Riley gives us a little bit of a wave, lovely to have the mobile camera roaming on the grid, and this is where it really starts to set in. This is where the pressure, the anticipation, and also the adrenaline builds. There's Jeff Verbeek, one of Belgium's finest young drivers in karting. And he's been one to watch this weekend, and also was a very quick driver last season. It's wonderful to see the conversation between driver and mechanic. Jeff gives us a nice little wave there behind the wheel of his moving power Tony kart. And also great to see some of the members of the media with us, from social media providers and also publications. This driver, another one to watch. I remember seeing this young man in action at Kart Masters last year. Austin Aman, also from Sam Pollitt Racing. Another driver you need to keep your eyes on. And we've got a whole host of talent. 35 drivers representing 8 different nations. There is the 130 Falcon Racing Team's Lewis Boots from Belgium. Another fast driver that has also shown prowess this weekend. You really wonder what are the drivers thinking behind the visor. I've never been a competitive driver myself. I've never been in this kind of situation. But I'm sure there's a lot of thoughts running through their respective minds at the moment. A bit like an 8-speed gearbox on a Formula One car, you know. It's just one of those things. You just wonder. There's also the 198. Leon Herbos, another one of the Bouvan Power Squad. Nice smile there. But the thing is, the quality of the racing has been absolutely exemplary in this class. And you look at some of the drivers who have come through this class. Kai Hillertz. A couple of drivers that are also here as well. Mike Van Vught. Rory Armstrong, Jacob Ashcroft, Vic Van Kampenhout, to name but a few, who have all gone on. But we are at that time. It's just under 3 minutes until we get underway with our first of 2 formation laps. And now it's going to be 11 minutes plus 1 lap of racing to decide who will become our 2025 Champions Winter Trophy winner in this class. There's an anticipation, there's a buzz in the air. And then there'll be a Hornet's Nest that we'll hear with the amount of races happening. So the countdown continues until the drivers get underway. Last year, Vince van der Halle was the winner of this event, ahead of Maxime Becker. They're now up in the junior ranks. Patricas Jokius also moving along. Oliver Spencer's gone on to other things. So is Victor Reutz. Ryan Rampadanoth was the mini rookie winner last year. And looking at the Roll of Honour, well, Dave van Wyk would take the win, and Max Sidursky was 1 step away. One minute to go, as once again racing under the supervision of race director Manuel Branco. And a big thank you to the local ASN, the Royal Automobile Club of Belgium, with their team of stewards on hand. Mechanics Gantry full to bursting point. I'm sure the grandstands are pretty packed as well. Engines start up. And here we go. It's the first of 2 formation laps for the final for the 2025 Mini Max and Mini Rookie division here at Genk. Here is your starting order. Max Jolly starts from pole position. He'll be joined on the front row by Sam Pollitt Racing's Riley Morrow. Jeff Verbeek, Austin Oman round out row 2 with Lewis Boots and Leon Herbos. Row number 3. Klaus Hans and Tiger Hodhausen row 4, with the top 10 being completed by Denmark's Finn Albert Jorgensen and Matthias Verreken from Belgium. Mick Klinkers August Ligabel Lingzor round out row 6. Dayan Habits and Jensen Walker round out row 7. Gillian Dimmer and Sasha Al-Jabrail round out row 8. Row 9 completed by Connor Halfer and Leonard Kerstar. Completing the top 10 from the Netherlands and Germany respectively, Max van der Meer and Jolina Marie Schulz. Andreas Jellerup, Paul Dussard, Ralf Rakaitis, Bruno Kujewski, Tren van Melik, Ryan Rampadarath, Ludwig Forman, Tristan Abeels, Maximilian Kiel and Ben Falker round out the top 30. Completing the 35-strong grid here at the home of champions, it's Kian Hay, the only mini-rookie driver here this weekend, Dimitar Lazarov, Marcus Tenkate, Kilian Kommer and Luxembourg's Philippe Massard rounding out your 35-strong 17.5-row competitive grid. So we now go to 11 minutes plus an additional lap. And the field starting to get very, very close together throughout of turn number 8 as they slow to a crawl towards turn 9. But it's an all-British front row. Then after that, Belgium and the United Kingdom. A Belgian lockout for row 3. Then Latvia, the Netherlands, Denmark and Belgium rounding out the top 10 in terms of nationalities represented. The red lights are ignited on the starting gantry. Once we get the word to go racing, we'll be off and underway for the finals for the first time this afternoon. Join us for the roller coaster ride for around the next 12.5 minutes as we get set and ready to go racing for one final time. For our youngest competitors, they pass the red line of no return. And then it's got to be a consistent pace when they enter the tram lines. They split into the tram lines, revs up, lights on, and the final's underway. And straight away, Max Jolly pulls the left-hand side to cover off Riley Morrow, heading into turns 1 and 2. And Morrow went round the outside, got the race lead. Osterman also factoring in there. They can use the runoff area on the early part of this race. Jeff Verbeek having to go to the outside at turn 4. But now the field makes its way through into turn 5 and then down the famed Europalan. And, well, to the outside of Max Jolly, it was Osterman that slungshot past. Jolly responded by going through back into second place through 6th and 7th. But the big thing now is the advantage that Riley Morrow at the front end of the field. He got the lead early. He did exactly, he took a page out of Lewis Gilbert's playbook from Superheat, from the senior Superheat earlier on today. Absolute textbook from Riley Morrow. Lap 1 in the books. Morrow leads by nearly 7/10 of a second. Jolly second, Verbeek third. Lewis Boots now fourth. Osterman down to 5th. Tygo Holthausen, Leon Herbos, Klaus Hans, Matthias Verreken and Finn Albert Jorgensen round out your top 10. Klaus Hans trying to get on and past Leon Herbos for 7th position. But that's not going to be easy. But Riley Morrow has done it, did the textbook launch. Jeff Verbeek, however, has set the fastest sector out of anyone. Sector 1, I might add. And considerably quicker than those in front. Lewis Boots goes purple in Sector 2. But the top 4 starting to try and break away. Austin Oman trying to go up the inside of Tygo Holthausen into turn 12 and 13. But it's Riley Morrow that continues to lead after the second lap. Lewis Boots and Jeff Verbeek, the first drivers this weekend on actual race pace to go sub 60 seconds. That means Riley Morrow, Max Jolly. You've got to cross the T's and dot the I's, the pair of you. Lewis Boots, 59.723. Fastest lap of the race after 2 tours of this 1.36 kilometre circuit. Morrow is hanging on by a finger thread at the moment with regards to the race lead. Jensen Walker gets a warning flag, and he started 14th. Unfortunately, the Brit down all the way in 30th position. But Riley Morrow continuing to hold on to that race lead. Now, Minimax is a bit like Honda Cadets for those over in the United Kingdom. Everyone keeps their cards to their chests, and then with 2 laps to go, everything kicks off. Right, Jolly gets through. So does Verbeek, so does Boots. Riley Morrow is probably going to be thinking, maybe breathing a sigh of relief at the moment to say, oh, thank goodness for that. Three laps leading, and then slingshot. And it straight away happened. They were covered by less than 2.5 tenths of a second. Ludwig Fuhrmann from Denmark puts in the fastest lap of the race, 59.536 on lap 3, and goes purple in sector number 1. Coming down to the final 7.25 minutes, plus an additional lap. Riley Morrow still leads the way. Max Jolly Max Jolly leading the way. Now, Jeff Verbeek in second. Lewis Boots definitely is one of the drivers not to count out here. Fourth, Lewis is now Austin Oman as they complete lap number 4. Austin Oman now has been repassed by Tygo Holthausen in the meantime, and that was earlier on in the lap. Julian Dummer, and Bruno Grzewski have dropped. So I think there might have been an incident between the pair that have compromised them both and put them both out of contention. Julian Dummer has not come through out of sector 1 after sector 2. So there is a we've got Ralf Rakaitis out, Dimitar Lazarov out, and Gene Verreken cheering on Matthias, who is 11th at the moment. But the battle at the front end of the field is still covered by less than 8 tenths of a second. Austin Oman now through on Tygo Holthausen. Keep your eyes on the youngster from Denmark, Finn Albert Jorgensen, who has got through on the Dutch driver on the Maranello chassis. So Jorgensen through. That is now 6th place. Last year's German champion. Jeff Verbeek now puts in the fastest lap of the race. Personal best in sectors 1 and 2, and had a bit of a leisurely pace, let's say, sector number 3. 59.306. So Max Jolly trying to keep his head above water at the moment. But with just over 5 minutes to go, we are past the halfway point of this 11-minute plus an additional lap final. Of course, the winning team last year, courtesy of Vince van der Halle, was Bouvin Power. And the one driver in that top 4 that represents that squad is the driver in second. Jeff Verbeek looks over the right shoulder, sees Lewis Boots there. Austin Oman leading the train for 5th. And he's being followed by Finn Albert Jorgensen and Tygo Holthausen. Dean Habits and Leon Hobos are not too far behind either. Riley Morrow sets the new fastest lap of the race, 59.269 for the 122 with Sam Pollock Racing. So now, as the timer continues to count down, it is a case of picking your moment. Don't overdrive the kart. Don't try and throw a haymaker up the inside, because what can happen, you'll end up not just compromising yourself. Dean Habits goes purple in sector 1, 24.430. Ryan Rampadarath and Ludwig Fuhrmann, they've both gone into double digits of places gained. Rampadarath up 12 spots from 26th to 14th. Ran as a mini rookie last year and won this event. Klaus Hans has dropped down to 15th position. Meantime, Riley Morrow closely on the rear bumper of Falcon Racing Team's Lewis Boots. And I have noticed there is a slight indent on the front bumper of Jeff Verbeek. I'm hoping that's not going to cause him any problem post-race. There is also a little bit of damage on Lewis Boots's, but Boots runs wide. Morrow's up the inside through for P3. Great job there by the 122 from the United Kingdom. And now, I think maybe Riley Morrow just wanting to conserve the kart underneath him and just allow him that little bit of breathing room and just take a moment just to accept the situation that you're in, run your own race, and thereby consequently deal with the situation in front of you in the manner that you see fit, which is going to be firm but fair. Now, there is a kart that has got a front bumper dragging on the ground a little bit. That is the 131 of DN Habits. That's got an indent, and it's also possibly scraping on the ground in front. Let's just have a look. Yeah, that looks a little bit low. And, oh, well, oh, dearie me. DN Habits tried to go up the inside at turn 5 on Austin Oman, who has been passed by Finn Albert Jorgensen. So Austin Oman nearly got turned around there inadvertently. Oman just took the racing line, turned in. So Darren played time on YouTube. It's 11 minutes plus an additional lap. So we run to time in not laps per se. Oh, and there's a big old hip check, and around goes. I think that was 106 that got turned around there. So August Ligabor Lingzo. So minute and 45 still to go. Got to move on here. DN Habits on. Leon Herbos. Well, that is actually it's Tygo Holthausen. Well, there's Tygo Holthausen and DN Habits. So it's the 154. Matthias Verreken. There goes DN Habits through on Tygo Holthausen for 7th place into turn 6 and 7. So, retired from the race, Dimitar Lazarov out, Ralf Rakaitis and Julian Dumas. So we are down to 32 runners and riders. And Max Jolly has got a bigger gap expanding. And Riley Morrow has just signalled to Jeff Verbeek, right, come on. We've only got a couple of laps to go, mate. Let's just go for it. Let's catch up. And I'm sure that Riley Morrow was nearly 2 tenths quicker to the decimal point than Jeff Verbeek. Morrow thinks that if Verbeek picks up the pace, well, Verbeek's got no other choice but to pick up the pace. Verbeek goes to the right-hand side into the braking zone. Now, hang on a second. There was a kart off at turn 6 and was backwards. So I'm going to keep my eyes on turn 11 now because, well, Max Jolly has come through. So someone has ended up going straight on at turn 5 and 6. But now we go on to, well, the timer has hit 0. Riley Morrow, in the meantime, has become a bit tired of waiting and threw it up the inside of Jeff Verbeek. And the gap now between first and second has gone up to a whopping 1.6 seconds. And at this point, there's nothing that Riley Morrow and Jeff Verbeek can do to try and catch and reel in and pass Max Jolly out on the circuit. This time, looks like the last lap board is being prepared for the Mini Max and Mini Rookie final. Morrow and Verbeek will battle it out over second position, but 1.36 kilometres remain. Max Jolly starts his final lap. Morrow defends against Verbeek heading into turns 1 and 2. And Verbeek unable to make the move quite yet. He's going to hound and hustle Riley Morrow right up until the checkered. And it could be down at the Europalan that something might happen. Verbeek keeps Morrow guessing for the meantime as Jolly makes his way through the chicane for what will be the 13th and final time. Lucky number 13 for some, unlucky for others. But Morrow still putting on a stern defensive masterclass ahead of Jeff Verbeek. But we are now counting down the corners. And, well, Vince van der Hollen took the win last year. This year it goes to the United Kingdom. Strawberry Racing and Max Jolly win in Mini and Mini Rookie. Here at the Champions Winter Trophy, it's a British one too, courtesy of Sam Pollitt Racing's Riley Morrow, who was in with a shot, but unfortunately it fell apart towards the end of the race. Jeff Verbeek P3, Lewis Boots P4, and Austin Amann takes 5th. Finn Albert Jorgensen, one step away from the top 5, made up 3 places to finish P6. Dayan Habits in 7th, Tygo Holthausen in 8th, 9th Matthias Verreken. Leon Herbos rounds out your top 10. Ryan Rampadarath, last year's mini rookie winner. Get this, 15 places gained from 26th to finish in 11th, ahead of Ludwig Fuhrmann, who also made up the same amount of places, 15 spots from 27th to 12th. Andreas Jellerup, Connor Halfer, Klaus Hans, Mick Klinkers, Sasha Algebrail, Jensen Walker, Maximilian Kiel, and Kian Hay round out the top 20. Tristan Abeels, Leonard Kuster, Joliene Marie Schultz, Kilian Kommer, Tren van Melk, Max van der Meer, Paul Dussard, Bruno Grzewski, Ben Falke, Marcus Tenkate, and Philippe Massart round out the finishers, with August Likibor-Lingzo out, Julian Dimmer out, Ralph Rakaitis out, and Dimitar Lazarov, the final retiree. But Max Jolly from Strawberry Racing, representing the United Kingdom, victorious in the final for Mini and Mini Rookie. Let's have a look back at what transpired. Now, Jolly was very, very quick to try and cut off the aggressive advance of Riley Morrow on the start, but Riley Morrow managed to get the job done pretty quickly and get through. So this afforded him the opportunity to start building up a lead, which got up to the best part of 1.5 seconds. There were some really, really good battles up and down the order, as we've seen all the way through the weekend. But then the top 4 really started battling them against each other, because Riley Morrow found himself dropping from 1st down to 4th as 3 other drivers overtook him. And Tygo Holthausen having a really, really good battle with Austin Amann from Sam Pollitt Racing. So Austin Amann also showcasing his prowess, and it's really good to see other drivers from the United Kingdom that have been told come over to places like Genk, come over and compete in Europe, and use what you've learned. We had the spin for August Likibor-Lingzo at turn 10, which unfortunately meant that the Dane in the 106 would have to retire. But then things started to develop in favour of Max Jolly. He started running away with the ball underneath his arm like a rugby player. And then it was Verbeek versus Morrow. But Morrow doing what Morrow does best, defending. And that's very, very crucial. If you're not going to win, but Max Jolly, well, celebrates in style. His first race weekend win for his new team. And there you see the layout of the circuit for those watching on the B&L Karting Series Facebook page and YouTube channel. 1,360 metres, opened back in 1984 with 13 very, very challenging, very, very, how can I say, circuit relevant corners. Also a track that really carries momentum. So that's the track itself. We are just under 5 minutes away from our next final for the Champions Winter Trophy. Next up, it's DD2 DD2 Master. Now, as I said, Champions Winter Trophy first started last year. Inaugural winner in DD2 was a man I've already mentioned today, Dylan LaHaye. And it was this time last year he'd taken a year off racing. For those that do know him very well, myself included, he does like to DJ. He does it actually as a job on the side. But he came back, switched to DD2, went to SP Motorsport, and then ended up winning. And then we had the likes of Nikita Genza, who last year running with Deon Motorsport, and then Francis Noah Hit from RM Concept, who ended up rounding out the top 3. And then we also had Paul Fokema and Victor Sendan that also competed, and they completed the top 5. Masters last year, well, we've only got one competitor in the form of Wim Rouleau, but Bastien Krapot, running last year, took a clean sweep of victories. Now there is Manuel Branco talking to Jakob Bezel and Lawrence Herboz, our front row. So Masters, it was Bastien Krapot that took the win, ahead of Lucas Lippert, and then Dimonotto Francesco rounded out the top 3. The driver running at that point with Kati Maya. Of course, no KZ2 and KZ2 Masters this year. Unfortunately, class did not proceed due to insufficient entries. Brandon, who's your goat, please? Brandon Klein Nagelvort, name check. Come on, who's your goat? If you're going to be asking if Bram Mossavada is racing, aka Red Actions, no, I'm afraid. Once again, our mobile camera on the start-finish straight. Great to see the aspect. Sem Knopfius, no, Sem is not racing here. He's not racing here, I'm afraid, Brandon. You're going to be disappointed. There is your front row. The Czech Republic and Belgium represented. The points, however, are non-existent. We don't think about them now because it is winner take all. Shouldn't ruin your day, Brandon. You're watching karting. There's no pleasing everybody, is there, eh? Well, Brandon, you win some, you lose some. What can I say? That's racing. So we're just 45 seconds away from this race being waved off with the green flag, and then we start 2 formation laps. But some great battling we've seen over the course of this weekend. I had a great chat with Louis Koch and Mats-Johan Overhoff, and also his dad Hans Gerd, who's here as well. And yeah, the tone of the conversation unfortunately went south, and Henry Baudet, you will understand that completely. But I think for me, the driver that's really stood out quite a bit is Koch, to be honest with you. His outside overtake on Guillaume yesterday in one of the heats at turn 11. Very impressive. Engine's now fired up. And it's going to be 14 minutes plus an additional lap for the DD2 and DD2 Masters final for the Champions Winter Trophy for 2025. Here's your starting grid. Jakob Bezel from the Czech Republic starts from pole position. Lawrence Herboz from Belgium, P2. It's Belgium and Germany. It sounds like the FIFA Euros from last year in Germany. Nicolas Guillaume from Belgium versus Mats-Johan Overhoff from Germany. Louis Koch and Axel Hoos representing Germany and the Netherlands on row 3. Belgium and the Netherlands represented on row 4, courtesy of Kien de Brandt and Wout Kirstens. Rounding out the top 10, representing Germany and Denmark, Bennett Demler and William Norbeek. Marco Drentenpijs will be on the inside of row number 6, and he'll be joined by Marcel Schirmer. both representing Germany. Germany and Austria on row 7 with Mark Schuppmann, joined by Benjamin Unterberger. Jan Eckstein and Maximilian Adolf make it an all-German row 8, and rounding out the final row of the grid, it's going to be Wim Roulo from the Netherlands and Ricardo Messina from Germany. 14 minutes plus an additional lap for these drivers. So there is your starting grid that I've just gone through as the drivers make their way around the circuit for the first time. The red lights ignited on the starting gantry ahead of our official start. We'll have 2 more races to go, meaning that we'll have had a total of 22 races this weekend here at the Home of Champions. And a big thank you goes to all the drivers, the teams, their families, the mechanics, and all the support networks that have come here to be part of this event. It's a perfect day here in late February for racing. Air temperature 13 degrees. It's dry. It's sunny. So let's get ready for racing action for the second out of 4 finals. DD2 and DD2 Masters. They split, head into the tram lines. Revs rise, lights are on, and the lights are out pretty quickly as we get ready to rock and roll here at the Home of Champions. Into turn 1 goes the field. Nicolas Guillaume looks to have gotten up into second place, but straight away Lawrence Herboz retakes the position. Guillaume looks to switch back through at turn number 4. But unsuccessful. Oldfield makes their way down in towards the Europelan, and there's a bit of a squabble at the back. Someone's just made... Oh, now who was that going around the outside? That was Maximilian Adolf doing an RTM Racing Team Margraf Slim Shady round the outside at turn 5. Made 3 positions up in one fell swoop. But Jakob Bezel is leading the way at this moment in time. And then it's the at the back end of the top 5, Mats Johan Overhoff and Louis Koch running in formation. We had to put them in Top Gun. Well, I wonder which one you call Goose and which one you call Maverick. But then Marcel Schirmer's got his elbows out as well, so is Marco Trittenpreis. So Marcel Schirmer, unfortunately, retired from the Superheat due to 3 instances where his kart got hit, and then promptly had to retire on lap 2 of the race. So Jan Eckstein through on Axel Hoos. That's a change for 8th on the road. And hello to Paul Kramers on the YouTube stream as well. So Maximilian Adolf doing a really good job. But Jakob Bezel is now starting to be reeled in. And Kian, as Louis Koch has now got through on Mats Johan Overhoff. And then Kian de Brandt fires it right up the inside of the number 403, based out of Marl in Western Germany. But Bezel, Herboz and Guillaume, well, if anyone might remember Heat 2 yesterday, it was at the track, there was an almighty ding-dong battle between Bezel, Herboz, Guillaume and Overhoff. And now Herboz has got the race lead. Oh, and Bezel has got off. Jakob Bezel is off the circuit coming out of turn 9. He's dropped 2 wheels on the grass. The kart was all over the shop. And that has opened the proverbial floodgates. Now, the thing was, when Herboz made the move, Guillaume was round the outside. Then there was a little bit of inadvertent contact because Guillaume tried to back out of it. Bezel was trying to defend. They got their wheels slightly touchy. And then all of a sudden, Bezel was off the circuit, then had a bit of a tank slapper whilst two wheels were on the grass. Warning flag has gone out to Jan Eckstein in the number 414, currently sitting in 8th place behind Wood Kirstens. So, big change at the minute as things stand, because first is Lawrence Herbos, second Louis Koch, who's now being really put under pressure by Kian de Brandt, but his wingman, Mats-Johan Overhoff, is now going to try and see what he can do, but de Brandt got through out of turn 13. Koch now latches onto the back bumper. Jakob Bezel now firing on all cylinders again, and he's closing in on them. He's just put in the fastest lap of the race. 55.103 for the man from the Czech Republic. So 4:05 starting to ramp up the pace, and he's caught up with Mats-Johan Overhoff. There's a quintet battling. Oh my goodness me! There's a quintet battling over second and third, the last two steps of the rostrum, and I think someone has lost a place. So Louis Koch through, back on Kian de Brandt. Oh, and Jakob Bezel dive bombed up the inside at turn number 10. And that's allowed Guillaume to get through on. Guillaume's got through. Jakob Bezel just threw caution to the wind and just went for it. It's as if his brake pedal had way too much travel on it. And now it's all change. It's all change again. Because at this point, someone's had a big old off. That was Jan Eckstein in the 414. That was off at turn 4, two wheels into the grass. And, well, let's say the cat amongst the proverbial pigeons has happened. And, Guillaume's being assaulted from all sides here at the minute. He's got Michael Drenpreis having gone through. And now I've just seen Jakob Bezel get through on Louis Koch for second place. Kian de Brandt, fourth. Fifth is Axel Hoos. No, it's not. It's Wout Kirstens. My apologies. Mats-Johan Overhoff, Axel Hoos, William Norbeek, Marcel Schirmer, and now Nico Guillaume. Guillaume has suffered big time. I think maybe his cart took the brunt end of the stick, so to speak, after he and Jakob Bezel nearly had a completely bad accident coming out of turn number 9. But there is still plenty of this race left to go. 7.5 minutes. Plus an additional lap remaining on the timer. And this is proving to be quite crucial for these drivers here. It's about how you conserve the machinery underneath you. And sometimes you're going to risk it. Let's be honest. Sometimes you are going to risk it. However, there are times when you need to do your due diligence, as Nicolas Guillaume has just received a black and white warning flag. So the 416 now in 11th. He's just been passed by Michael Drenpreis. Guillaume has just responded with the fastest first sector in this race of anybody. But at the moment, Lawrence Herbos is starting to run away with things. The timer is counting down, corner by corner, second by second, lap by lap. And at the moment, some drivers, I fear, in this field that are trying to follow him, at the minute, I would say, I'm not going to say that they are, I would say this, it's getting a bit more difficult, because once time starts ticking down and you've got that sense of urgency or you've got that sense of desperation, we've also had 2 retirements. Benjamin Unterberger and Bennett Demler have retired, so we're down to 16 runners and riders. And, well, Jakob Bezel, at the minute, might find himself. He's going to have to settle either for 2nd or 3rd. Oh, Mark Schuppmann dropped down to 13th. Make that 14th now. Guillaume now up into 10th. Wim Rouleau just happy as Larry, running in 16th. No need to worry. He'll go, yep, I'll be fine, I'm good. But keeping an eye on Lawrence Herbeau's, he's just been putting in the lap times. Just got to keep it consistent. You've got to keep it on point. Don't overcook the tyres. Don't over-rotate while steering. Don't hammer the brakes too hard when you get into a corner. But I'm looking at Louis Koch, and he is catching Jakob Bezel. And he was a 10th quicker on the previous lap. So Jakob Bezel, brother to Petr Bezel, who have both represented the Czech Republic at the Rotax Max Challenge Grand Finals in years past. See if he can maybe muster something up, but if he's got Louis Koch just behind him, Koch is going to bring the heat to him. And obviously, as drivers move on in classes, of course, the age for DD2 Masters has been lowered, so we're seeing a plethora of drivers, including Nicolas Picot, Zenderua, and quite a few more that have ended up going into DD2 Masters earlier than what used to be the case. It used to be 34 and above, and I think it's now 31 and above. Right, we have got a 5-second time penalty. Looks like a pushing penalty for the 4.59 of Mark Schuppmann. So Mark Schuppmann's race will be having insult to injury added. Meantime, behind Jakob Bezel and Louis Koch, Kian de Brandt and Wout Kerstens are attracting to each other like magnets. New fastest lap of the race, Nicolas Guillaume, who's down in 10th place, 54.717. Good effort here for William Norbeek, who's now up into 6th. Mats Johan, well, that was Nicolas Guillaume diving up the inside of Axel Hoos. That was for 9th at turn 2. So Guillaume starting to show the pace that really would have put him in great... Well, his pace has been really good this weekend, but with Nico, I've known him, and obviously his other half, Lizanne, who's watching on here at the circuit. I've always had that sense that Nico's got the speed, but he doesn't always have that little bit of luck that you need as well. There'll be times when it'll go really, really well, and then it'll just go absolutely Pete Tong, and then the minute he goes, that was a frustrating race, and he'll understand why. Coming down to the final 2 minutes, plus an additional lap. And Jakob Bezel is starting to pick up the pace. Mats Johanov trying to get through on old Conrad Bayer, if you're watching. The old guy, Marcel Schirmer. Well, he is older than Mats, let's be completely honest with you. Let's call him a veteran, shall we? But it is a case that there are some drivers who, as I said, they just don't have the luck. So Mark Schuppmann drops down to 13th. Axel Hoos down to 10th. Mats Johan Overhoff, great race from him in Heat 2. Yesterday when he was battling with Herbeau's, Guillaume and Bezel, and then ended up winning the thing. So 2 more laps. We're going to probably have 3 more laps to go. We're on lap number 15 that's just been started out of a projected 17 lap distance. Kian de Brandt in the meantime has been passed by Wout Kirstens, it looks like. Wim Rouleau, happy as Larry at the back end. Oh, now, Mats Johan... what has happened to Mats Johan Overhoff? Now, he went through at Sector 1. Oh, he's just come through Sector 2. Now... he's gone down a lap now. There we go. On cue, Konrad Bayer. Vielen lieben Dank, mein Freund. But the timer has now hit 0. And, well, Laurens Herboz has pulled out enough of a lead to facilitate a Sunday afternoon drive home with the winner's trophy. Because he's got a lead of 1.1 seconds over Jakob Bezel at the meantime. And Louis Koch looking to take his first podium of the season here in P3. But we are just over a lap away from the checkered being waved at the start-finish straight. 1 lap to go as we head on to lap 17. Laurens Herboz has a just over 1 second lead over Jakob Bezel. Louis Koch running at the top 3. Wout Kirstens, Kian de Brandt. And unfortunately, I have to confirm to the Super Mats fans out there, Mats Johan Overhoff has retired, I'm afraid. A real shame. But our leader now making his way through in towards turn number 9, which he's just exited out of. And then just a handful of corners to go. What a drive. Started off Saturday morning with a pole position, won the opening heat, and has made it matter where it matters the most. Laurens Herboz is the Champions Winter Trophy winner for DD2 for 2025. Winning by just under 1 second. Jakob Bezel, it was close. Not close enough, I'm afraid, for the Czech Republic driver. He'll finish P2. And gratulation, Louis Koch from Kraft Motorsport. 3rd place. A great weekend for the young man from Germany and for Kilian Kraft's squad. Finishing P3. Wout Kirstens and Kian de Brandt round out the top 5 ahead of William Norbeck. And welcome back, Marcel Schirmer. P7 at the end of the weekend for the 444 for FM Racing representing Germany. Axel Hughes, Marco Trittenpreis and Nicolas Guillaume round out your provisional top 10 with Jan Eckstein, Maximilian Adolf, Mark Schuppmann, Ricardo Messina and Wim Rouleau will pick up the winner's trophy for DD2 Masters. And more to the point, unfortunately 3 retirements, Mats Johan Overhoff, Bennett Demler and Benjamin Unterberger. But Belgium take the spoils in DD2 thanks to Bouvin Power and their home hero, Laurens Herboz. A great race here in DD2 and DD2 Masters. Plenty of talking points, plenty of situations that the drivers can learn from. But more to the point, folks, not that long away until we get on to our penultimate final of the weekend. As in just 5 minutes time, we head back to the start-finish straight as Junior Max, the final, gets underway at 2:35 p.m. 20 races down, 2 to go. As we have now on your screens at home, if you're watching wherever you are in the world, thank you so much for joining us on the official B&L Karting Series YouTube channel. A capacity 36 strong Junior Max field set to go into battle very shortly for 11 minutes plus an additional lap, and then at 3 p.m. we'll be going racing one final time this weekend. As you see in the background of the shot, just off of turn number 13, there's the mechanic's gantry with a lot of people making their way down to it as we speak, as the engines start up on the start-finish straight and the drivers are waved away with the green flag. Here is your starting grid. The top 36 Junior Max final for the Champions Winter Trophy for 2025. Oh, I was just about to say that as we've had someone go exit stage right. I think that might have been Mika Gentner, possibly, the 202. Pole position will be occupied by the Netherlands' Max Siderski, joined by the UK's Archie Lovett on the front row. It's Belgium and the Netherlands, row 2. Vince van der Holle versus Luca van Leer. Tom Reger from Germany will be joined on row 3 by Lars Lambers. Thomas Verheyen and Rory Armstrong, row 4. Bran van der Weken and Lenny Hobiolagash on row 5, completing the top 10. Alex Goodston and Belgium's Boris Verhaag round out row 6, ahead of Maxime Becker and Philip Hansler, both representing Germany. Badine Blankenberg from the Netherlands and Luan Seidel from Switzerland round out row 8. Kimi Mai from Germany and Belgium's Vic van Kampenhout complete the 9th row. Completing the top 20, Sebastian Plant and Boris Markovic. Rounding out the 36-strong grid are Samir Paul, Sebastian Lersch, Lionel Munguia, Asmi Heiser, Justin Fonk, Lieke van Berkel, Koen Willems, Devin Mieta, Mika Gentner, Nicolas Machon, Ryan Rivers, Emir Siedkowska, Emil Müller, Julius Fünfstück, Anton Koch and Max Ongzik. That's your 36 strong grid. And the unfortunate driver not taking to the grid on this particular occasion is the 206 of Sepp Terhorst, that by 6 points didn't make it through. So the drivers crossed the red line of no return. The red lights ignited on the starting gantry as we get ready for 11 minutes plus an additional lap of racing action. Into the tram lines, revs up, lights on, lights out, and the final's underway. It's the run down to turns 1 and 2. Siderski has the initial advantage. Archie Lovett has dropped down a few positions, but he's going to try and see if he can get his way back into the top 5, which he managed to do. A couple of the drivers, including the 285 of Lieke van Berkel from the Netherlands, having to use the runoff area. They can only use it once. After that, any use of any runoff area, 5-second penalty. But Max Siderski, runner-up last year, now looks to go one better. But the person who's chasing him down is the 284, Luca van Leer. Absolutely brilliant whole shot for the 284, representing the Netherlands, who went purple in sector number 1. Third place is Vince van der Holle, as they come out of turn number 13 to cross the stripe for the first time. 1 minute elapsed. So Sadurski leads, Van Leer, Van der Holle, Verheyen, Lovett, Lambers, Armstrong, Reja, Hobby Olagash and Goodson round out the top 10. But it's nip and tuck between the top 2. As through for the race lead goes Luca van Leer. That was at turn number 3. Van Leer timed it to perfection. Sadurski didn't really fight it, but thought, well, it's a bit early for me to try and do that at this point in the race. And when you look at it from that perspective, that it is about a little bit of damage limitation, a little bit of self-control, but also some common sense when it comes to generalised racecraft. Now, we've had dramas. Anton Koch, Ryan Rivers, I think also that might be Emir Siedkowska's kart that has just been pulled away by one of the marshals from Team Marshals Karting Genk. So after the second lap, Van Leer leads from Sadurski by 3.5 tenths of a second. There is a big gaggle behind, I think, top 12, 5 or 6 karts, and one nearly got turned around. And that was one of the drivers from Kraft Motorsport, I believe. Didn't really pick out the number on that one because it was seeing who that was. Seeing, might have been possibly Boris Markovic. Purple sectors being set now by Lars Lambers and Alex Goodson. Alex Goodson fastest overall in Sector 1. Lars Lambers fastest overall in Sector 2. Van Leer is not getting away, however, and is only 0.14 ahead of Sadurski, who's right on the rear bumper, going into turn 2. Armstrong has made a move. That was on Verheyen. Archie Lovett also got through at the same time. So they're both up to 4th and 5th, and now they can start chasing the top 3 down. This is incredibly crucial. What happens over the next, I would say, 3.5 minutes? That's where you really need to get your skates on, get the traction through the corners, entry and exit, I might add. And, well, we've got the technical the meatball flag has been out for Devrim Yater, I believe. 266, yep. Devrim Yater, mechanical black flag. So there's obviously something that is not safe on the vehicle. Might, if it's not the front bumper, could more than likely be that the chain guard has come adrift. Now change for the lead. On the beginning of lap 5, Sadurski has got through on Van Leer. Vince van der Holle is waiting in the wings. Archie Lovett and Rory Armstrong, they're only a second away from that battle. If they close in, that could mean grandstand finale on the cards. Now, Taze van Wyk won this event last year. Sadurski was second, wants to go one better. But Sadurski starting to pull away. Archie Lovett is the leader of the light cavalry brigade from 4th backwards. Alex Goodson just went purple with a DHR driver in 7th spot. Now I'm wondering. Oh, well, there has been a little bit of a development. One of the DHR karts ran a little bit wide coming out of turn number 3. But there is... now joining Lovett, Armstrong, Verheyen, Goodson is now the likes of Lambers, Becker and Van der Weyke. That's more than fruity. That's got possible C4 implications with that, as in explosive. let's say. As dive up the inside through at turn 10. And that, oh my goodness me. Borisford, well, there's quite a few drivers in that mix. And that was Alex Goodson, Piggy in the middle on that. So now the gap has increased between Siderski, Van Leer and Van der Halle. They were just under 0.4 of a second apart. And the strange thing was that they have started pulling away. They're about 2.2 seconds ahead of Thomas Verheyen in 4th. So now it was Thomas Verheyen. Hello, welcome back, Rory Armstrong. Max Siderski back in the race lead. And Vince van der Halle around the outside of Luca Van Leer through turn number 13. Now go on to lap number 8. Tom Hedger has just picked up a warning flag from race control. He's all the... Oh, dearie me. The German's all the way down in 18th position. Lars Lamber's now in 7th, up to fastest lap of the race so far, 57.003. But with the top 3 having decided to be like the 3 bears, and Goldilocks and the 3 bears, saying, no, you're not touching my porridge, no, you're not sleeping in my bed. They're getting away. They've scarpered. But it's down to Armstrong, who's now really started. I think Armstrong might be close to pulling the pin and just going, right, let's just go for it. I've got nothing to lose. I've got everything to gain. And he's only 2.1 seconds behind. Now, when those 3 at the front start battling, and that's inevitable, Armstrong will be there like a rat up a drain pipe. And now there's another change for the lead. Van der Halle through. They are now starting the chess game. Van der Halle through at turn 5. Takes the race lead. Siderski second. Van Leer, P3. Now what's on the next intermediate? Armstrong's just closed in by 0.6. I did say when they started, keep your eyes on Armstrong. And now Van Leer is through on Siderski. I think there's an outside, there's a possible chance here. Orla, I know you're biting your fingernails to the quick, my dear, but your boy's on the move. 1.4 seconds. Now between 4th and 3rd. And Alex Goodson now in 9th. He's starting to make a recovery. The 262 from Dan Holland Racing. And now there's another exchange for the lead. Armstrong is closing rapidly by and now Van Leer's gone through. Siderski now back through for 2nd. Armstrong is there. Armstrong is pretty... Look, he's got Lambers right up his exhaust pipe. This is not a done deal. No, it's not. It's Archie Lovett. Get this. 1.5 to go. Top 7. Wait for the interval split. 1.4 seconds. Any one of these 7 drivers. And now Siderski back through. On Van Leer. Van Leer defends against Van der Halle. Armstrong is waiting to pounce. This is a crucial time right now. And the person that could capitalise the most could be Rory Armstrong. The top 2 tangle. The top 2 tangle. There was tyre smoke. And Armstrong over the back bumper. Oh, he was pushed. He was pushed, was Rory Armstrong. I think he got a tag from the rear. And that is going to be, I think that is going to be Vince van der Halle. And van der Hallen's got a noisy exhaust. Yeah, van der Hallen's got a noisy exhaust. He slammed the wheel in frustration through no fault of his own. I think there was an assist to the back of Rory Armstrong. We've still got 2 laps to go. Folks, you ain't seen nothing yet. Van Leer is now back in the lead. Swiderski, second. But who would have thought, who would have seen this coming? Keep your eyes on the driver in 3rd place from the UK. Archie Lovett. Timer has expired. We have about 1,700 metres of this fantastic circuit left to see what plays out. Now it's the short run through turn 10 into 11. Next time around, we're going to get the final lap. Rory Armstrong trying to go toe-to-toe with Lars Lambers for 5th place. But 1.36 kilometres remain. Swiderski switches to the inside line. Slingshots through on Luca Van Leer. They're wheel to wheel. And, Swiderski nearly made a hash of it. He gets through, however. Van Leer forced onto the outside line. And look at Lovett! Lovett up the inside! Lovett to the lead! And Van Leer and Swiderski still trading sidewalls. They've just gifted it to Archie Lovett. Lovett was there, right place, right time. They were battling, they rubbed sidewalls and Lovett went, thank you, you've opened the door, I'll take that every single day of the week. Lovett was there, right place, right time, and Swiderski's got Armstrong up the inside, he's got through. But there's 2 more corners to go. Who would have thought of this? Sam Pollitt Racing, Archie Lovett win here in Junior Max. What a final lap. And I knew that there could be sidewall rubbing between 2 drivers, and it was Swiderski and Van Leer. The minute that happened, Archie Lovett went, hold my Fanta, I'm coming through. And he did it at turn 4. Archie Lovett becomes your Junior Max winner for the Champions Winter Trophy for 2025 by just 3/10 after 13 laps of racing. Thomas Verheyen, Luca Van Leer, Rory Armstrong and Lars Lambers round out your top 5. Max Swiderski in 6th, Alex Goodson, Boris Verhaag, Lenny Robio Lagash and also Maxime Becker round out the top 10. Lieke van Berkel, Bran van der Weken, Tom Reja, Philip Hansler, Bodine Blankenberg, Samir Paul, Sebastian Lersch, Kimi Mai, Asmi Heiser, Vic van Kampen round out your top 20. Sebastian Brandt, Justin Funk, Boris Markovic, Luan Seidel, Koen Willems, Nicolas Machon, Mika Gentner, Emil Müller, Julius Fünfstück, Lionel Munguia and Max Ongzik round out the 31 finishers. Unfortunately, we lost Vince van der Halem, Devrin Yater, Ryan Rivers, Emir Siedkowska and Anton Koch. But, folks, what a race by these drivers. You know what, I'm going to let for you watching at home, I'm going to leave you for a few minutes, catch my breath, because that was a brilliant final for the juniors. Next up, it's the last race of this event, the 2025 Champions Winter Trophy. To close out the show, it's the Senior Max Top 36 final.
build it up from that. So everybody goes with it. Now it's dry. So what happens is if you gain too much speed, they will be on your back. Most probably you will be on the track. Tem que lidar que eles já estão todos a sair e muitos deles já foram para trás. Estou fora do ar, Kika? Estou fora do ar? Ainda estou on ou não? Estou no ar ou não, Kika?
We are just a handful of moments away from our last race of the 2025 Champions Winter Trophy here at Karting Genk in Belgium. It's time for the top 36 Senior Max final. 41 drivers came into this weekend, all thinking they would have a chance. The 5 drivers, unfortunately, not making it through would be Kimi Schleich, Gabriel Svitala, Nathaniel Weigand, Jaime van Beek and Noah Montag, meaning the other 36 would come through. There is your pole sitter, Sverre Ubben from GKS Lemons Power, who by just one single point put it on pole, and it's an all Belgian front row lockout. The engines are fired up and the drivers are waved off on their first of 2 formation laps with the green flag on the start-finish straight. Taze Stevens, however, has not moved. And, oh, well, that's a bit of a development there for the 382. Due to start on 10th spot, he's been banging the engine, and Taze Stevens will take no part in this final. Drama before we've even gotten started. So, So, here is your grid. As Tay Stevens' cart pulled away, and the driver obviously with the visor down, not really wanting to talk to anybody at all, banging the engine in frustration. Sverre Ubben and Ollie Yonkers start on the front row of the grid. Lewis Gilbert and Tom Lanois round out row 2. Lukas Schlegel, Matej Radenkovic, row 3. Luca Thiel, Jim Back, Robbie Storder round out the top 9. Tay Stevens not starting from 10th. Alex Aim, Noah Janssen, Ruben Verheyen, Lex Quintens, Enes de Mercaya, Julian Klausman, Crick Knoren, Sasha Aim, Jack West and Flynn Fitters complete the top 10. Matthias Jaderup, Jake Menton, Theo Lemoigne and Luca Brima round out row 12. Row 13, Tim van Elsweg, Rein Vandermeer, Dean Winters, Emil Hendricks. Row 14. Row 15, Alexander Rasmussen and Philip Enemark, all both from Denmark. Magnus Brandt, Kiro Genza, Jack de Kock, Henry Melchior, Bo Alris and Michael Endres round out your 35 strong grid. But my heart goes out to Tay Stevens. And it's not the first time I've seen that on a final in a race weekend here at the Home of Champions. My heart goes out to him. But of course, there's plenty more racing still to come in the weeks ahead. The field starts coming to a crawl towards turn 10. And more to the point, this is where the gloves are off. Forget MMA, it's like a bare-knuckle boxing match that could be transpiring before our very eyes. 14 minutes plus 1 lap to decide our 2025 Champions Winter Trophy Senior Max winner. Red lights are on the gantry, illuminated for the final race out of 22 this weekend. As they exit out of turn number 13 into the tram lines, revs up, lights out. Lights on, they're not going out, we're going round again. Race director Manuel Branco not satisfied with the formation and will send them around for another tour. There's a whole host of names on this grid. If you were to ask me to pick a winner, I wouldn't be able to decide. Because with seniors, I've done it before where I've said, yeah, I think this person's capable, this person's capable. Let's just take the natural course of life and just let it unfold naturally. That's how it should be in any final. I'm sure there's plenty of people watching in the grandstands with eagle-eyed. The mechanics gallery off of turn number 13, very much heavily occupied. To finish first you must finish, but you've also got to make sure that you go one better than your opposition. Cross every T, dot every I, don't put a foot wrong. Consider mechanical sympathy as part of the tools in your arsenal. There's the grandstand briefly for a moment as we are ready for the second time of asking. Red lights ignited on the starting gantry for the top 36 Senior Max final for the 2025 Champions Winter Trophy. Into the tram lines, revs up, lights on, lights out this time, and we're underway. And Sverre Ubben gets the initial run through into turns 1 and 2. Gilbert now trying to dive for the lead. And he tried, did Lewis Gilbert. He didn't get through, but he was in the right place. But Sverre Ubben leads the field down the Europolon for the first time. Gilbert in second position, looking to the outside, maybe trying to put a little bit of pressure on, not try and force the issue. Then you got the 3-1-5. Luca Thiel, monster start from the man from FM Racing. Monster start. Luca Thiel started 7th. And he's now up to P3. Opening lap in the books, Sverre Ubben being hustled along by the pride of Scotland, Lewis Gilbert. Third place, Luca Schlegel. It was Luca Schlegel. Luca Thiel in 4th. Ollie Yonkers 5th. Tom Longnois, Robbie Stodder, Mateo Denkovic, Alex Heyman, Ruben Verheyen round out the top 10. Michael Endres has made it all the way up to 26th as Lewis Gilbert has got through for the race lead on Sverre Ubben. That was a nice little move by the Scotsman from Dolroy in Ayrshire. And now he starts to try and pull away. And then Luca Schlegel has dived up the inside and he's gotten through as well. So it's a Kraft Motorsport 1-2. Gilbert from Schlegel, Ubben, and then the floodgates have opened because Luca Thiel has dropped down to 7th. Now it's the senior road tax scramble. It's underway. After the first 2 minutes, the first 2 laps. So Thiel and Wonye, looks like Philip Ennemark, Magnus Brandt, Kirill Genzer and Jack de Kock have not taken part in this race, but 397, Radenkovic diving up the inside. He's got through on Ollie Yonkers as they come out of turn 7. He made the move as he dived up the inside, under braking at turn 6. But Lewis Gilbert has a little lead at the moment. It's about half a second over Luca Schlegel. Gilbert fastest in sector 1 overall. Sverre Ubben fastest in sector 2. They cross the line to complete lap 3. And Gilbert still half... Oh, and drama's there for Jake Menton through in turn 12. The 3-3-1 must have had a little bit of an assist. And he's dropped behind Lex Quintans, who's down to 29th position. But the Dams Racing pair of Tom Longnois and Ollie Yonkers are trying to put a little bit of pressure on Robbie Stodder. And I have seen that there is a warning flag that's been given. 395. Enes Demirkaya from Bouvan Power representing Germany has been given the black and white warning flag. So there's obviously something that's been noticed by race control and they are not quite happy with that. Now another warning flag, this time 307 has copped a black and white warning flag. Michael Endres, who is currently in 24th behind Alexander Rasmussen. Meantime, Tom Longnois gets through on Ollie Yonkers. There's Mateo Dankovic, followed closely by Luca Thiel. But Luca Schlegel is closing that gap down to Lewis Gilbert. It's less than 2.5 tenths. If Luca Schlegel is right on the rear bumper of Lewis Gilbert, coming out of turn number 13, the Scotsman is going to have to do one of two things. Defend into turn 1 or let Schlegel go and follow him. Now, I don't need to tell Lewis how to do his work, but it's what I've seen from him before. Gap is 2 tenths between first and second. Now, I know for a fact at Kraft Motorsport, Kilian, the team boss, will say, guys, race hard and race fair, your teammates. The unwritten rule in motorsport, never take out your teammate. There is a long way to go and a short time to get there. But it's a case of who is going to have the better strategy. Now, bearing in mind in his superheat, Lewis was leading. ended up 4th at that point, crossing the line. But what it showed was that, and we've got another black and white warning flag. Looks to be 316. Tim van Elswijk on the comp kart chassis. Believe in the fluoro. Jack West now up 8 spots. Has just put in the fastest lap of the race. 54.913. So, yep, the change has happened. So Lucas Schlegel ahead of Lewis Gilbert. Now, the good strategy that Lewis will use is to get Lucas Schlegel to pull him along. And that can give Lewis a little bit of breathing space. And what I mean by that is you can conserve fuel a little bit. You'll be... okay, yes, you're going to be your car might feel a little bit more unstable. But what it's also now doing is that I've just seen that Sverre Ubben is closing in. And he was 6/10 behind Luca previously. He's now 3.5 tenths of a second behind Lewis. So Gilbert is going to... Oh, well, he looked to the inside there on Luca. Schlegel decided not to chance it. Sverre Ubben has decided, well, I'm going to stick with you guys. We now hit half-time. So top 15 at the moment is Schlegel from Gilbert. Ubben, Stoddard, Langlois, Redenkovic, Jonkers, Thiel, Alex Aim, Ruben Verheyen round out the top 10 with Jack West, Jim Backrick, Kruren, Julian Klosman and Enes Merkaya rounding out your top 15. So 30 drivers rounded out by Tim van Elswijk on the comp kart chassis in the 316. 30 drivers still running. The time is counting down. Sverre Ubben is going to dive up the inside through the penultimate corner. And there he goes. Through goes Sverre Ubben on Lewis Gilbert. And Gilbert now returns the favour through the very next corner. And there is Robbie Stoddard. Careful. And that was Mateo Dankovic nearly into the left side of Robbie Stoddard. And that was coming out of turn number 4, so he was very, very lucky indeed. So 6 minutes plus an additional lap remains on the counter. And again through into turn 6 and 7. Well, Schlegel is now pulling away. He's quicker. Well, he was not quicker on the opening set. Well, he was quicker by quite a bit. Sverre Ubben's become the cork of the proverbial wine bottle right now. He's got Stoddard, Redenkovic, Langlois, Jonkers right behind him. Thiel, Alex Aim. There's about 7 of them in a row battling over P3. And now Sverre Ubben. Oh, dearie me, that was nearly. Mateo Redenkovic, well, I think... oh, dear. It's getting a bit too close for comfort. And now the floodgates are opening. Looks like Ollie Jonkers has made up a place. Yeah, he got through on... well, it was Langlois on Redenkovic. Jonkers slotting in behind. But this is allowing the 2 drivers from Kraft Motorsport to start pulling away. So Sverre Ubben is really having to fight now. Put it on pole position. But the final has gone the way of Schlegel and Gilbert. Oh, that's a big gap between second and third. It was 8:10, so I'm waiting for the next time they come across the start-finish line. So gap between first and second, 1.4. Gap between second and third, 1.9. And now Ubben is going to lose third. Stoddard gets through at turn 2. It was only a matter of time. Robbie Stoddard gets through for third position as Sverre Ubben is now... I think maybe suffering the same fate as what Lewis Gilbert did in his superheat. It's not been easy for the 346. He got to the top of the final intermediate classification by a single solitary point, and now it's starting to slide away. However, Lewis Gilbert... Oh, the pride of Scotland has got the second burst of energy. And he's just gone quicker than his teammates at the front end of the field. So this is going to be more than likely an inter-team battle royale. Radenkovic trying to go through. And I think he's just, yes, Radenkovic has got through by turn 5. That was a great setup by the Belgian, but then straight through turn 6. Ubben got back through. Langlois up the inside. Yonkers is there. Radenkovic is going to be hung out to dry a little bit here, going through into turn 6 and 7. And he nearly comes into contact with Yonkers. And then Alex Aim gets through. But Lewis Gilbert is not done yet. Gap now 1 second. All I'm going to say is Lewis Gilbert is on a tear. He's been waiting for this moment. And the lead now is 1.065 seconds between Schlegel and Gilbert. Gilbert was nearly 0.2 of a second quicker. And now Robbie Stauder is P3. There's the 3.44 of Alex Aim going round the outside. I think that was on somebody. I think it might have been one of the Julian Klausmann. Yeah, Julian Klausmann. And that was for 10th place. Gilbert, another 0.12 quicker. That gap now is 0.95. And he's a little bit quicker through gaps now under 9/10 for the first time in a couple of laps. So Lewis Gilbert is going sector by sector. Actually, dissect that a little bit more. Corner by corner. He's finding time here, he's finding time there. And I'm waiting to see what the gap will be when they break the first timing beam. It was 0.883 of a second. Now it's 7.4 tenths of a second. So Gilbert is making this work. There's a little battle between Ruben Verheyen and Alex Aim. Oh, dearie me, that's opened the floodgates. Luca Thiel has muscled his way to the front of that train for FM Racing. Gilbert now within 6.5 tenths of a second. We go on to lap 15. 0.6. And Gilbert's recorded speed is higher by nearly 2 kilometers an hour in comparison with Lukas Schlegel. And you know what? The style of driving that these... Oh, no! And we've had an incident! That was 3.44. Alex Aim. And I've got a feeling that was Ruben Verheyen that went up the inside and they both clattered into each other. And off exit straight on went Alex Aim from France. But Lewis Gilbert is now within striking distance. The pride of Scotland, the man from Dolrite in Ayrshire, is now on course. It's going to be close. 3 seconds to go. 2 more laps. 2 more laps and Gilbert is 3.5 tenths of a second away. Last time around, he was 83 thousandths quicker than his teammate. And now I have this feeling in my gut right now. Schlegel is seeing where Gilbert is. And the gap now is just under 0.33 of a second. Thank you very much for the wonderful compliment there, Paul Kramers, for the stream. And thank you also with regards to my commentary this weekend. I'm very humbled by that. Thank you so much. 0.3 is the gap, as we will now go on to not just our 17th and final lap of this race, but the last lap of the entire weekend. It's Schlegel versus Gilbert. 307 gets a warning flag from race control. Last lap underway, 0.3 of a second. Gilbert later on the brakes and now is waiting to build up the momentum through 3, 4 and 5. Over to 6. Gilbert, what's he going to try? He's going to go for it. He's trying to go to the outside for the briefest of moments, but Schlegel holds the inside line. I think we could be in for a grandstand finale to cap off the weekend in the best way possible. Through turn number 9. Gilbert's going to get the slingshot down into 10. And 3 more corners to go. Turn 11. Here comes Gilbert round the outside. Is he going to pull it off? He's going to go for the switchback. He's going to give it a try to the line. It's going to be Schlegel. Schlegel by a length. Wow! Mamma mia! You cannot get closer than that. Gratulation, Luca Schlegel. And a thumbs up from Lewis Gilbert. But Killian Kraft, congratulations. A 1-2 finish, baby. Well done. Robbie Storder rounds out the top 3. But Austria's Lukas Schlegel has got something to celebrate. He is the 2025 CDMAX Champions Winter Trophy winner by 77 thousandths of a second. And it's a Kraft Motorsport 1-2, courtesy of the Pride of Scotland, who gave it his all. But you know what? He's still going to be happy because it's a 1-2 for the team. Well done, Lewis Gilbert. Robbie Storder, Ollie Yonkers, Mateo Radenkovic, Tom Lenoir, Sverre Ubben, Jack West, who made up 11 places from 19th, finished in 8th, ahead of Julian Klausmann. Luca Thiel rounds out your top 10, ahead of Krik Knorden, Miel Hendricks, Matthias Jaderup, Jim Back, Enes Dimenakaya, Luca Brima, Noah Janssen, Flynn Fitters, Sasha M, and Lex Quintons round out the top 20 finishers. Alexander Rasmussen, Jake Menton, Henry Melchior, Michael Endres, Ruben Verheyen, Bo Alrichs, and then we had Dean Winters, Tim Van Elswijk, Rein van der Meer, and Alex Aim, unfortunately finishing 2 laps down. Dave Stevens out before we got started. Thielen Wanya, Philip Enemark, Marcus Brand, Kiddo Genza, and Jack de Kock, unfortunately not getting to the end of the race. And, well, that's it for the on-track action, ladies and gentlemen. And more to the point, it's time to, I would say, look back over this race, but let's look over this weekend in general. We've had 131 drivers from 11 different nationalities. We've had great racing all weekend. There are a few thank yous. A big thank you to the team who now become part of the Karting Genk family for this year. WFR Live TV. A big thank you to Manuel Branco, our race director, who's actually the main man with WFR. So, muito obrigado to our Portuguese members of the family. A big thank you to timekeeping, stewarding, secretarial, administration, Parc Fermé, Tyre Bay, scrutineering. A big thank you to everyone that's made it here to the track. A big thank you to Karting Genk, of course. Fantastic facility. Always a pleasure to come here. It's always a pleasure to come back here every single time. On behalf of the organisations for RMC Belgium, Chrono Karting, and RMC Germany, a big thank you to all the drivers that have come here this weekend to compete. A big thank you to all their teams, all their team bosses, their mechanics, the support networks, the families that have come here. A big thank you to our members of the international media. A big thank you to our ambulance crew. Also, one big thing, our ladies and gentlemen in orange this weekend, who have done a fantastic job as always, the marshalling team here at Karting Genk. Well, we're waiting for a few more results to be ratified before we celebrate our winners and our podiums for the 2025 Champions Winter Trophy here at Karting Genk. Podium set to take place in approximately, barring any decisions that need to be made, technical or sporting, in about 35 minutes. But ladies and gentlemen, the 2025 B&L Karting Series season is just 2 weeks away. The 7th to the 9th of March, the home of champions will be alive with the sound of the road tax roar. So, a big thank you to them. We are going to go down to technical, and there is our winner, Lukas Schlegel from Austria for Kraft Motorsport by the narrowest of margins. Number one, he says. He's definitely earned it. He's a happy bunny. Had a good chat with him this morning on the grandstand. And you know what? It's one of those things. But ladies and gentlemen, 7th to the 9th of March 2025. Join us in just 2 weeks' time. I'll be back in the commentary box. I can now confirm that I'll be here for all 3 rounds here at Karting Gang, which will be rounds 1, 3 and 4. WFR Live TV will be powering our live streams over the course of this season. A big thank you to you all watching at home. Don't forget to find us on Facebook and on Instagram and follow us on social media and share whatever posts you've seen over the weekend. And more to the point, like, share and subscribe. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Until next time, we'll see you trackside. Goodbye.